And we've been highlighting this all day in terms of what all has Chandra accomplished, be it, selling off the mobile business, fixing the entire telecom business really by a bunch of things, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, merger of the European business with ThyssenKrupp, or Tata Communications. We've seen action, and we all recognize that. But do you think now it is, maybe with the exception of the Mundra plant, which needs to be fixed, and that lies in Tata Power, it's basically more about getting more efficiency in the group, more about focusing on return ratios?
I think so. I think that is certainly the sense that the market has. The stocks are doing well. You look at his baby, TCS, with an approximate $6 trillion market cap. So I think he's looking to see how to basically cut the flab, cut the inefficiency, improve a sharper decision making. And I think very good in empowering the leaders of the various operating businesses. Wants them to take accountability, but understands that in order to do that, they need to be empowered as well. So I think he's getting that mix. And of course, brought in new people that he feels comfortable with.
Mr. Mehta, let me come across to you now. How do the trusts see the performance of N. Chandrasekaran in the last 1 year?
Okay. Let me first make a statement that from the trust, we have a broad understanding of how the group's performance is, but we have no direct day-to-day interaction with them, with the Tata Sons. So in that sense, my observations are, by their very nature, they are very broad. Also, to my mind, a big conglomerate and an organization such as Tata's, where there's, by sheer size, there's bound to be some inertia. The results do take time to show up. So what we can see today, or what we can assess today, is only the trends that we see. And every institution has the capacity to improve at every stage. There's no stage at which you can say that the institution has reached a stage where it has already reached its final destination. So having said all this, I would like to state that the main concern of the trusts has been the performance of the operating companies.
Right.
And we were worried when this unfortunate saga unfolded in October 2016,
right,
that the profits of the operating companies other than TCS and the JLR, the profits of the other companies were either stagnant or they were making losses. And that was a cause for major worry of the trust.
So is that worry lesser now, Mr. Mehta?
Dividends.
Yeah.
Yes, certainly, I'm coming to that. So the trust dividend is dependent on that, and all our philanthropic activities are then dependent on the dividend that we get from the trusts, from the Tata Sons. And today, we definitely see a trend where the results are very encouraging.
Fair enough.
We see that Mr. Chandra.
Let me get a quick word in from Ananthan. I got the point, Mr. Mehta. So things certainly have improved for the better, and the performance has been satisfactory, as you say. Anantha, let me come to you. I mean, you wrote that magnum opus in terms of, it was almost a blueprint for what the markets really expected of, Chandra at the helm of Tata Sons. How much of that has been accomplished, and what are the big things which are remaining according to you?
So magnum opus, I'm not sure if you can define it as one, but anyway, thanks Prashant for having me here. See, I think from our perspective, we could distill Chandra's strategy into sort of 4 broad areas. The first is, the ROE of the group was subpar in many cases. And so about 60 of the companies have ROE less than 10%. So that was obviously a big target area for Chandra, especially starting with the big companies to begin off with. The second was, the domestic consumption part of the entire Tata Group is actually pretty small. It's below 10% if you exclude the financials. And that is an area of significant growth that we can expect in India over the next few years. The third part was, essentially trying to simplify some of the cross holdings. There are multiple companies operating in the same area, so see whether some of that can be combined. And the fourth area was there are some pieces like financial services, for example, or maybe even retail, where probably the Tata Group can step up its presence significantly. So 1 year is really a short time, but I think what he's really achieved is fixing some of the problems in the larger companies. With the exception of maybe Tata Power, we've seen a lot of activity around Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Tata Tele. I thought was a pretty difficult decision to take, which he has taken. We've seen some activity in the simplification, and I think where we'll hopefully hear more news over the next few years is essentially in the remaining 2 areas.
Mm-hmm. So is there the Tata Power, the Mundra thing? Do you expect resolution sometime this year, 2018? That is the other sort of big one-time fix, if I may use that term.
Yeah, so so basically, if you look at the top, the 5 large companies, right? So TCS, I think he's done a great job in transitioning that. Tata Motors, the domestic CV business has started doing well. There's been obviously work in progress. Tata Steel, there's been a lot of activity, both internationally and domestically. Tata Tele is now out of the picture. So that leaves Tata Power. Now, I think that is probably the most difficult to fix, among all the 5. So I don't really know, what he has in mind or what the timeline of that could be. But at least, he's got the right people. So, Banmali sort of re-enters the Tata Group. He's a very solid person as well. So hopefully there will be some resolution soon there.
Okay. On that note, allow me to take a very quick break. Ananta, Mr. Mehta, Mr. Ramodurai, Zia Modi, allow me to take a very quick break here. We come back to all of you in just a bit, and we continue our discussion on Chandra's first year at Tata Sons. We leave you with IT stalwart N.R. Murthy and his comments about Chandra's first year in office. Listen in, take a break, be back.